This is The Secret Lies Within, and I'm John Trevelyan. For this show, we joined the Talliston Poetry Circle, which is a group of writers and readers of poetry that launched in September 2013. The Poetry Circle is a challenging and supportive group for all levels of talent and experience. Offering monthly meetings in a unique environment, its aim is to inspire poets to create their best, most engaging new work and to share their poems at a candlelit open mic evening. The following are a selection of poems read at the Talliston Poetry Circle in December of this year. Welcome everybody to the December gathering and with social evening as well. We asked for some light-hearted stuff, but we can have anything this evening, so that is fine. It's just a bit of a potluck this evening. I'm going to start. This is actually a song, but I'm not going to sing it. And it's also a song that should have 3 people singing it, and there's only going to be me. So, yes.
You don't like to make things very easy for yourself, do you?
Well, you know, with my split personalities. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually tell you when we get the change between the different people singing. Okay. But this was actually written for 3 people, of which one would get up to sing, and then somebody would interrupt them, and then another person would interrupt, and slowly there'd be this sort of singing fight that they'd all have. And it's a bit Monty Python. It's a bit silly. It gets sillier as we go on. But the idea was that you'd present it as heroic epic, which then became more and more silly. The Outlaw Song. Celts. A long, long time ago, hidden in the woodlands, the outlaws of Talliston. Legendary was their name, preyed and hunted all the same. The outlaws of Talliston. Out in summer's forest green, there in winter's snows were seen. A long, long time ago, the heroes of the people, the outlaws of Talliston. Saxon. A long, long time ago, skulking in the highlands, the outlaws of Wivenhoe. They were such a merry band, most feared and hunted in the land, the outlaws of Wivenhoe. In winter, swimming in the lochs, in summer, sleeping on sharp rocks. A long, long time ago, the heroes of all Britain, the outlaws of Wivenhoe. Celts. Brave and strong and Celtic they, singing songs with a hey nonny nay, defying all the high king's laws, eating babies, pigs and boars. They vanquished the great Saxon lords and speared their heads upon their swords. Saxon. Deadly with a sword or bow, fighting with a yo-ho-ho, a laugh by day, a love by night, their shirts were baggy, their trousers tight, and no number of Celtic clans could rid them from their mounting lands. Celt. Talliston's leader killed men with ease, he bit the heads off his enemies. Red Huan was his name, he loved to skewer, gouge and maim, and when his anger he did vent, he struck his foes incontinent. Saxon. Wivenhoe's leader was mad Sir Dane, long on muscle, short on brain. He killed the rich to feed the poor, upon their bones he made them gnaw. In war he'd dip his buttocks in woad, the stench made all his foes corrode. Lady. A long, long time ago, locked within a tower, Catherine of Brackenham. Both men loved this lady fair, and her auburn locks of hair, Catherine of Brackenham. In summer she lusted for Sir Dane, in winter Red Huan drove her insane. A long, long time ago lived this rampant nymphio, Catherine of Brackenham. Maid Catherine often had a fling, for she was game for anything. Play dominoes, you're bound to lose, strip poker she could not refuse. Mahjong, gin rummy, the result's the same. She even knew the odd ball game. A long, long time ago the lady held a tourney, Catherine of Brackenham, so the leaders crossed the land for the right to win her hand, Catherine of Brackenham. Before one of them became deceased, she organised a sumptuous feast. A long, long time ago she was a famous gourmet, Catherine of Brackenham. Catherine feared that they would fight, so she placed their weapons out of sight, and truly did their tempers fail when Dane he hurled his prawn cocktail. Red Huon shouted a deafening whoop and pushed Dane's head in a bowl of soup. Dane gasped for air, saying, "That's enough," as he tried to choke him on a herring puff. Red Huon hurled some huge meat pies. Sir Dane hit back with fish-slapped thighs. The maiden cried, "Stop this at once!" but was buried neath a ton of vol au vents. Dane threw eggs, both raw and hard, while Red Huon slapped his cheeks with lard. Upon the table they did hurry, slipping in the spilt meat curry. With ducks and feints and other ploys they duelled with savoury saveloys. Lentil flans through the air were sent as to and fro the battle went. They flung prune jelly and got an eyeful of whipped cream and orange trifle. A haggis burst upon Huon's knee. His reply was wicked, a subtlety. A long, long time ago, amidst the food of flying the outlaws of Talliston and Wivenhoe. As each man his camp defended, the fight grew fierce and then was ended. A jammy chest, a bean feast leg, Dane's scowling face was splattered with egg. But Huon lay dead upon the tart, a rock cake lodged within his heart. A long, long time ago, Sir Dane got his woman Catherine of Brackenham. To the merry sound of laughter they lived happily ever after. They married in Wivenhoe. He drove back to his mountain glen, where she exhausted all his men. A long, long time ago, that's the end of the story-o, and the outlaws of Wivenhoe, and the outlaws of Talliston.
Right, okay. It's a short poem called Marshes. My name is Simon Banks. And it's sort of based on, started putting it together when I was walking in some marshes on the edge of the Norfolk Broads. Nothing for the wind to blow down, for miles around the rank, damp fields, slow, secretive waters. No hill for the conqueror's statue to stand on, no town for the great to make claims. Nothing a pattern maker understands. The swans fly low, the wind blows high, and the silence might hurt. The face might frighten you if you knew it was your own in the world's sky.
Very nice.
Something sweet or something earthy? Which would you prefer? Earthy. No, not your kind of earthy. All right. This is, give you a little history to the background of this. I was and have been immensely honoured to have had several years of correspondence with, I think, one of the great poets who is now sadly died, who was a Welsh poet called R.S. Thomas, who wrote exclusively about Wales and the Welsh landscape. He was a priest, and he used to rattle round from mountaintop to mountaintop in his little battered Minnie, but wrote the most exquisite poetry. And much of the period that I was writing that this came out of was due to his influence. And it's called The Ferine. Don't laugh, man. Each has his place in heaven, and if mine is to be with the breath of manure and the wet sienna soil upon my hands, and yours to be city slick, well, that's the way it goes. But don't smirk there. If my dreams are small and yours are far too large for me to understand, who's to say which is the greater dream? Ambition in you is only tired limbs in me, and your soft, cynical smile reminds me of my dog chasing the rats across my bedroom floor. If I don't understand you, let me be. Could you understand the ploughshares as religion, or the soil as life?
Now, it's a poem called Wolf. And actually, John printed it in one position, but it's got two positions in it, two voices. And when I'm reading it, I can't do that on a recording, but I can try to convey that visually by stepping, one step one side. Wolf. Cry in the night, a wavering, yearning wail, remembered. The pack all know their part. The smell of sickening deer bloods their comradeship. Torn flesh is life. Wolf dreams the voices in the leaves, the running of a long-lost mate, the tumbling play of cubs, and then midwinter snowlock, icy breath. Fairy tale devil, hiding in homely things, better to eat you, dear, ravenous, clever. A chalice for our wish to kill, for rape and for rebellion, to turn the world right upside down, of chaos, and the homeland's milk of lore and lace for all time spilt. Wolves ride our dreams, in each dark wood a half-remembered beast. Down each sharp slope they wait, or wander like the wind, to fall on anywhere they wish. The fearful grope of climber on the Alp falls short, because the wolf waits just beyond. But at his fall the wolf will stand, and soon have sport. A child is missing, sheep are torn, a travelling brother never comes. Folk knew the wolf must be the cause, so hunted it with dog and gun, until one lonely wolf was left, searching for any of its kind, into a trap and hung to rot. So who had killed the lost child now? Some human wolves must roam the night, and must be burnt to break the curse. To wolves, the random rage of men is like a maddened hurricane, that picks this up and sets this down, safety and death in hands of clown. That wail again. No devils of dream unearthly through the forest stream, but wolf pack hunting in the night, and not a tiger burning bright.
As I said, it's something a little bit different, and it's called The Miracle. Now, he whispered quickly, and we laid down low. Though it was in that ice-grey hour that precedes the day, though every scattered flower still lay asleep, I never felt the wet and seeking fingers of the earth across my skin. I hardly dared to breathe. I was as still as sunlight is upon a field. Faint sounds filtered by as day began to dawn. A bell, a sudden horn, sounds of accustomed living that have thrown us out of gear with life. Yet still I crouched, my arms half numbed in their outstretched position. We never spoke a word, or blinked an eye. And though I did not fully understand this patience of creation, I felt the most exquisite pain steal up into my throat as one small velvet mole crept up to sit upon my outstretched hand.
Right, Okay, I've written this comic Christmas poem, and I've also worked in quite a few titles of Christmas songs and Christmas carols. So there's a sort of quizzy element. So if anybody can tell me how many songs and carols, yes, a mince pie to the person who gets it right. Okay, it's called How Santa Ruined Christmas. 'Twas chaos in the workshop. The elves wanted to strike. Poor Santa Claus was gobsmacked. He'd never seen the like. He thought, do they know it's Christmas? What about the girls and boys? They'll make their parents' lives such hell if they don't get their toys. No strikes, said Santa angrily, his knuckles turning white. Christmas is for the kiddies. You must give up your fight. The elves replied with feeling, Elf and safety's such a mess. We've worse working conditions than the kids in Bangladesh. They said, your style of leadership has really got to go. Not used to being challenged, Claus yelled a great big no. Do you hear what I hear, friends? The head elf worked the crowd. The first no. Hell, that makes me mad. We have to tell the world. It's the last Christmas you treat us mean, the elves began to shout. The self-appointed leader said, that's it, down tools, we're out. The elf continued fearlessly, brothers, it's action time. Let's deck the hall with placards and form a picket line. Santa Claus was furious. He wasn't going to fold. I'll do the work myself, he said. You stand out in the cold. But Santa soon discovered why elves were the craft masters. His clumsy sausage fingers turned toys into disasters. Toiling through the silent night and many a long day, the toys he made were rubbish, so he threw them all away. Santa was quite frustrated, his cursing loud and strong. Of all that it rejected, he only kept the one. The shelves were dark and empty, quantity was just a joke. The sole gift for a farmer's boy who lived near Basingstoke. Claus barged the angry cricket line, the elves said boo and hiss. When starting his career, how could he know 'twould come to this? But that gave him a brainwave. I'll get another job, forget about this Christmas lark and earn a good few bob. But these were times of wanting, job hunting took its toll. The only placement he could get? Claus in a shopping mall. They even made a jingle. Bells rang behind this motto. Come meet the real-life Santa, we've got him in our grotto. The kids said that I wish it could be Christmas every day. Can I tug your beard? Asked one. Said Claus, no fecking way. Another kiddie faced him and rudely demanded that. I saw 3 ships, I want them, growled Claus. F off, you brat. His swearing got him sacked after a further we 3 kings. The boss who kicked him out told him, atone for all your sins. He slunk back to his workshop where the elves were chubby looking. They sat around a cheerful fire with something on it cooking. This isn't peace on earth, he said. You've yet to win the day. I'm off to get my lovely dear and hitch them to my sleigh. Uh-oh, the head elf mumbled. This news will get us shot. Because you didn't pay us, we've had to eat the lot. What, even dear old Rudolph? The red-nosed reindeer? Aye. He really is delicious. Do you want a piece of pie? As Santa ate his favourite deer, he felt like such a clown. My pride has ruined Christmas. I've let the whole world down. Mistakes I've made at many points, too numerous to mention, but just one toy delivery could help with my redemption. With energy renewed, he stood and said, no time to talk. I've only got one option left, to get out there and walk. The boy he'd picked lived on a farm. His father tended sheep. His mother, Mary, struggled to try and make ends meet. Claus put the lad's toy in his sack and donned his boots and socks. I'll still deliver what I've made while shepherds wash their flocks. He'd no reindeer to fly him high to reach the chimney stack. Instead, he tramped up the front path and gave the door a rap. The poor young child who answered had holes in his PJs. Santa's heart was melted. I'll make this one lad's day. He beamed at Mary's boy child, said, I cannot tell a lie. I do thank God it's Christmas, ding dong merrily on high. I had no Christmas wrapping, but here's your special toy. I made it all myself, you know, this little drummer boy. The lad's eyes filled with tears as he stamped his foot upon the floor. You silly, stupid man, he screamed, I want a PS4. Dejected, Santa headed home, defeated, sealed his fate. He had lost, the elves had won, he would negotiate. OK, you win, he told the elves, in future I'll be fair. It made the strikers feel that they were walking in the air. Santa Claus addressed the crowd. He said, I think it's time to make a toast to our entente with mistletoe and wine. He was relieved he'd stopped the strike. The elves, they were in clover. Santa raised his glass and said, Happy Christmas, war is over.
That's really clever.
The Secret Lies Within was produced by me, John Trevelyan, with the support of Talliston House Gardens. It's a project where ordinary people have taken an ordinary place and transformed it and themselves into something quite extraordinary. Find out more at talliston.com.